What's happening, guys? I hope you're all doing well. Now, the best way to learn how to play Orlog is by first familiarizing yourself with the value of each dice. Think of it like this. The golden outlined hand is the most powerful dice, and the remaining dices such as the helmet and shield respectively block axes and arrows, functioning as a defensive system. The main purpose of this minigame is to eliminate all of the opponent's pebbles you see in front of you. The most effective way for you to do this is by picking the correct dices when it comes to your turn to acquire more tokens as a means of using our God's Favor special ability. Most Orlog games can be won by just using Thor Strike. Alright, so just go ahead and throw your dices and pick out the ones that have the most value. At the start you want a good starting so you can acquire the most tokens. So as you can see, I've picked out the golden helmet, the golden arrow and the hand. So now that I have 2 arrows and 2 axes, if he has 2 shields and 2 helmets, that means he can block all my attacks successfully. In this case, he blocks both of my axes, but since he doesn't have 2 shields, my arrows go ahead and take 2 of his pebbles out. Keep in mind, guys, that you don't have to use Thor Strike 100% of the time. If you're more experienced, you can go ahead and use the other god favors as well. Now, it's also very smart to divide your attacking as well as your defenses when you're picking your dices, especially if they have the golden squares around the dices. That would be the most effective to use, such as the hand and the shield would be a good combo to start with because first of all you're getting 2 tokens, and on top of that you're getting another token because of the hand. What many people tend to do is pick dices with golden squares so they can acquire tokens to use their God's Favor ability. Now, by only doing this can lead you to a loss because not enough attention is being given to the dices that have been rolled. So always check to see what the opponent picks as their final dice, so that you can counter any attacks with axes and arrows by picking shields and helmets when appropriate to do so. Then again, if you have too many tokens, go ahead and freely use it all up for a worthy Thor Strike. In this God Favor phase, I'm confident I will have 8 tokens left on my side, which allows me to have a strong Thor Strike of eliminating 5 of the opponent's pebbles, but only go for an upgraded God's Favor ability if you know you will have enough tokens when it comes to your turn. What I like to do is count the golden squares on each dice and the hand dice itself, then add it towards my present deck. This way I will know if I have enough. Be aware that some Orlog opponents are harder to play with depending on the power level region you're at. They will be using advanced God Favor abilities, and if you're not experienced enough, you can lose in an instant like I almost did in this match. So do wait for the end for a great move I did to finish effectively. Sometimes it's just best to not use God's Favor ability at all. This is because, depending on the dices that you have rolled and that you have picked, it is best to just wait to the next round so you can get enough tokens to execute your God's Favor ability move with the Thor Strike or whatever else God's Favor you have. Now I just used the Thor Strike ability, but don't let your eyes deceive you for a second. As you can see, I have 13 pebbles and they have 6. But like I said, some Orlog opponents are very challenging, so it is critical that you execute with an effective move by choosing the right dices so you don't take that L. Alright, so guys, towards the end of the match, you'll want to pick the dices with the golden outline so you can acquire the most tokens. What I'm actually aiming for here is to get 8 or more tokens on my side so I can use my Thor Strike, which eliminates 5 of his pebbles. So my best option here is to skip the God's Favor ability for now and wait for more tokens to come to my deck from the next round. If I got his pebbles down to 5 by using one of my axes or arrows to eliminate one of his pebbles, that would make it easier for me, as I could just use my upgraded 8 token Thor Strike ability to eliminate all of his pebbles at once, and then easily I could win the game. But considering that he has 4 hands and he has the greater amount of tokens, I will wait for the next round. So, as I said before, pick all the dices with the golden outline, and that way you can acquire more tokens, and right now I basically have 5 tokens that I've just rolled out. Now this is beneficial as he hasn't rolled any hands, so he cannot steal any of my tokens, but at the same time it's a disadvantage, as he uses Ascady's Hunt God's Favor ability, which doubles the arrow per die, altogether taking away 10 of my pebbles. Now this next stage is the most crucial as to what I perform, as it can bring the winning factor. I have brought their pebbles down to 5 by my arrow, and this is why I said saving up tokens can lead you to winning, as I will have 8 tokens to strike out exactly 5 of their pebbles. So go ahead and roll your dice and pick the golden outline dices, and the hands of course, so you can make sure you meet the required amount of tokens for the Thor Strike ability. In this case, I was exceptionally lucked out from the final dice roll, as it gave me 4 hands plus other golden dices on top, which gave me the confidence that I would have enough tokens. So saving up tokens from the previous rounds is vital to winning the game. And there you go guys. I hope it wasn't too hard to follow, yeah? Take care.